Welcome everybody to the Spark Up Podcast, episode 167. Christina Sev as your host. Get a superstar, Sev on the mic. This podcast ain't for everybody, but it's for somebody, and I hope that somebody is you. Today we have the plug's plug for all the cool fashion. This man is a creative genius, not only in his designs, but in his strategies and the way he goes about things and all the dope stuff that he's brought to Rhode Island. Recently, he had at least 1,000 plus, I'm gonna get the number from you though, people together for food, drinks, and vintage fashion and a bunch of other cool stuff. I just think you're really cool. I've been watching you from a distance, but today we have Longston for joining us on the podcast. So thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me, Christina said. I watch what you do as well. I like how you are the media for Providence.
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate having me. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm excited. This studio is cool.
Yeah, it really is. I love this space. We're going to get into all the cool stuff that you do. But before that, I want to do a quick icebreaker. So how we play this game is called Two Truths and a Lie. Each person shares two truths, one lie. Should I go first or do you want to go first?
No, you can go. I didn't really have time to think. I think you sent it to me like last night. And I was like, this like, it's like, but I have like random stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead.
All right. Two truths and a lie. Let me see. I've been to jail. I have went skinny dipping, and I have stolen. Which one is the truth and which is the two truths and which is the lie?
I feel like you wouldn't steal, so the rest probably is true.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah. the skinny dip and the jail probably is true because I feel like a lot of people have been in jail.
Well, actually, the lie is the skinny dipping. I've never been skinny dipping, but I have stolen and I have been arrested.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what
They kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, skinny dipping's tough. I feel like you have to be super confident.
That's true.
Yeah, what are you stealing?
Well, as a kid, I used to steal computer games all the time.
Oh,
I had to have like the latest Sims, but my mom was not paying $20 for a game.
Dude,
It was a lot of money back
I
then.
think stealing eventually helps you become a little better at business.
You think so?
Cause like I feel like, cause I stole a lot when I was a kid, mostly because I was broke and poor and all that stuff. But like I kept stealing when I got into my 20s. Cause like I remember like I had money and I was like, well, I'm not paying $10 for this drawing pen. So I kept stealing until like when I was well off in my 20s.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
So I guess I would give. Okay. So two real ones and
Two truths and one lie.
all right. I stole my dad's car when I was 16. Got into a car accident, then got caught and went to jail.
You're telling the full story.
Oh no! Like I'm making it like super detailed so you don't know.
Oh,
if it's
okay,
true or
okay.
not. I stole an Asian dude's credit card and then I used that credit card to buy sneakers at Bodega one time, and it worked. But no, that's like over 15 years ago. And then I smashed a random old white dude's car window at the middle of the night because I thought he was a racist. Which one is
the lie? They all sound so real. I think the first one is a lie. Stole your dad's car.
Oh no, they're all. Oh, she's number two. Oh, that was a trick question. Everything is real. all those things are real. All those things are all true. I didn't know what to say, so I just brought up the most traumatic, random ass events that just happened. But
That
all
sounds
those,
interesting, though.
Yeah.
You really smashed somebody's car because they were a racist?
Well, I was like, we just moved. I think at this point in my life, I was like in middle school and we just moved to the suburbs. My parents just got enough money and we were like the first Asian people in this neighborhood. And this dude had this basketball court in front of his driveway, but all the neighborhoods could play with it. But when we started playing with it, he would like park the car there. and like always snitch on us with his parents. And I'm like, all right, buddy, take this. And then I called my friend. I was like, it's the most ridiculous story. I was like, dude, I think this dude's a racist. He's been like a snitching on us with the cops. And I called my friend. I was like, it's 1 a.m. You down to smash the dude's windows? He was like, yeah. So I meet up with my friend at like 1 a.m. And he's like, what do you have? I got this hammer. And then he pulls out a knife. I was like, why do you have this knife? So my friend had like a knife. I was like, dude, we're not going to kill this guy. We're smashing his window. He's like, you never know. But it was like a combat like knife attached to his leg.
Oh my gosh, he was ready.
Yeah. And then I remember going up to the car and running and smashing the window with his hammer. And then as I turned around, my friend was already down the block. He already started running.
Oh my God.
And then we went and got breakfast. And my hand was bleeding. And then there was cops at the breakfast place. I was scared of what was happening.
Yeah, you never got caught.
No, but then I drove by the next day. The guy like fixed his window really quick.
Oh, he had money.
Oh, yeah. That dude was like...
Should have done something more expensive.
My friend said something funny. He was like, dude, imagine like waking up to your car smash window, but like nothing's stolen. Like nothing
all the stealing you were doing
confused.
and you didn't steal anything. Dang. All right, well,
yeah. But
that's a funny story. I think
there's a lot of random stories.
you have an interesting life, I feel like.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend yesterday because we were talking about the future of Faded, but we can get to that later. And yeah, we were talking about why I do stuff.
Okay, dope. Well, how are you today? How you feeling?
I'm good. I've been sleeping in early and waking in late. So I would sleep at like 9 p.m. and wake up at like 10 a.m.
Really? That's a lot of sleep.
That's a lot of sleep. I feel there. I'm like in limbo right now, anyways, because I'm in a contractual limbo with Faded. I have a contract with the app, and this past 2 weeks after the show, I've been renegotiating our contract for a bigger term.
Got it.
I don't want y'all to continue with your mic a little off.
This one?
Just censor. Let me.
Did you hear everything I said or no?
Oh yeah, no, I got everything. I just want it to be super crisp. That's crisp to be. And the good thing about podcasting is that you can edit this part right out.
Oh, sick. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
This is our social.
We're hanging out.
This is our social media moment.
Oh,
Oh, hi. Hello.
That should be good.
Feel it. Yeah, the dark. I'm a dark guy. This is good.
okay.
Are we good now? Like, I think we're good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yours are directly in front.
Yeah, I'm so used to it too because I used to
Testing.
do podcasts like as a brokey, so I'm used to having to project.
Yeah, that's how Joe Rogan started.
Yeah. Well, Joe Rogan's also racist. Will you smash his windows?
I listen to the science part of. When I watch Joe Rogan, which I do, I watch when like a scientist like Neil deGrasse Tyson or like Brian. So I like those type of guests. I don't really tune in when it's about like political stuff, but the guests he has that like talk about ancient Egypt and shit is
That stuff's
all
interesting.
That's dope.
Yeah.
'Cause he does get those guests, so I don't really listen to what he says. I separate the dude from the guests.
Okay. But you are an entrepreneur and a creative director. Are there any of the titles that you would give yourself that aside from those?
I don't know, like back in the day, I wanted to call myself an artist, but it was so like pretentious. So I just be like, when people ask me what I do, and I just like, yeah, I say the most random stuff. I just do stuff, or I do art, or like I just sell clothes, old clothes. And then they could dig into it. Cause like if you go, I'm an entrepreneur, I do all this, then it's like
Expectations.
I think it's a little too much. I think it's like people think you're a little pretentious because it's so like vague.
I see what you're saying.
I think
Yeah.
I'm an artist. I was like, bro, what kind?
Yeah. But I feel like as a creative, there's two sides of you, right? There's the person who's creating and selling the things and doing the things, curating and all that stuff. But there's the human side of that. So who would you say you are outside of all the work?
I don't know. I've had a conversation with someone the other day, and because every now and then I'll wear my expensive stuff and my grills, and they said something like, "Oh, you got to keep this image on and stuff." I was like, "Nah, dude, I like just do whatever I want
Hmm.
to do." And sometimes I'll hang out with like people, and they'll be like, "Oh, I get to see this other side of you." I was like, "There's no really other side." Like, I think I want to date, and the girl's like, "Oh, I like to see this, when you're not on." And I'm like, "I don't know if there's on or off. I think I'm just either relaxed and tired, or
Right. It's
just
moods.
like I don't like you don't want to go into like a networking event looking like depressed and tired. I want to
Right.
give those people the best version of me.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
you're saying it's all.
But I kind of just do
What we see is
whatever.
what we get. See what you're
Yeah, I
saying?
do like whatever I want.
Yeah.
I think that's the positiveness of being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
Even with
freedom.
even with partnerships and business meetings, I kind of still would say
Would you go to? You wearing vintage T-shirts to like a partnership meeting?
yeah. I have to like always be who I am. Kind of like on that Russell Simmons back in the day when he did Fat Farm. He would arrive
Oh,
to
yep.
these meetings just wearing his own clothes, and like it's kind of also like I think I was at like an event where a bunch of like people who had money and they're buying art and stuff, and I just wore this, and and while people they're dressed up, and I was like, whatever. Like on one hand, those people are like, oh, what did this guy do? And the second hand, they're like underestimating you a little bit,
Mm.
because like this Tupac shirt is like like if you know, you know. Type.
Is that you? Did you make this?
This Tupac shirt?
Yeah.
No, it's one of the rarer like grails in Tupac. I got it. So this goes for like a Gino.
Really?
Yeah. I got this
Damn.
ad faded. I got it because this young. So there was two people that had this. It's one of the more rarer Tupacs due to the fact that it's the Tommy Hilfiger ripoff. Mm-hmm. And Tommy Hilfiger was really good in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So it's a memorial shirt. So it's one of the more expensive ones. One vendor had it for $950. One vendor had it for like $1,000.
Wow.
And I was able to get it off of this vendor because he was cool with me. I hooked him with the booth and like, yo, I got for like not for nothing really.
Really?
So that's the relationships I have with these vendors because I put on events and a platform that help them make a lot of money. So they hook it up.
That's dope. But you did talk about being underestimated. And when I was on your Instagram page, one thing I love to do before a guest comes on is snoop through their page and be nosy, read their caption and all their comments and stuff. So be careful. No, but I saw that you read a lot. You're into books. Is that still a thing or?
Yeah, I was reading like a summarized version of The Alchemist of the Day, just because it's one of the if you look at anybody's like reading list, it's like top 20 books of all time, and I wanted to know why it was, and then I read about it, and it's pretty good. It's about a dude finding his purpose, but it's dope. And I do read. I read random books. I read stuff that like I read anything and everything, and I read people's
Like
random,
fiction,
yeah.
essays.
I read random people's poetry pages every now and then I read like I was rereading the Mummy Abu Jamal, which is like a political prisoner from Black Panther. He has like these inserts that he wrote while he was in jail. I thought that was cool. I'm trying to read Albert Camus' The Stranger again. It's just a bunch of like literature that I like. Like it's like I've never read Harry Potter. I've never read like,
Me either. I missed
fantasy books. Cause I read, like I even read 50 Cent's 50th Power. Cause I like to read these books that translate to business. Like The Art of War is a really good one. Using Your Enemies, like all those things. Because I think people are so drawn into reading business books that gives you the, playbook how to do business. But most of those are just trying to sell you stuff. So 50 Cent read the 48th Power, which is a bunch of inserts, how you do maneuvering this and that. And then he's so good at it that they made a new version called the 50th Power. And it makes sense because 50 Cent recently just got a deal with Lionsgate to
Yeah.
do like 50 movies. He just opened his own movie
That's
studio. He fucking working with Netflix to do a P. Diddy documentary. And that's like using your enemy to your own advantage. So I do all this stuff for my own thing. Plus, it's good to read. I think people just need to read good literature to stay sharp.
Yeah, I agree. I've been thinking about reading too. I haven't read a full book since I was in college in 2018, which I feel like I'm like missing some smarts a little bit. Like I'm not on my toes.
Yeah, because like everything that's pushed out right now is just a lot of false stuff. So
A lot of nonsense.
yeah, a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's so those books from like 100 years ago is dope and relevant.
Yeah. You obviously have a specific fashion, right? I think you have a look. I'm in the space where I feel like I know my look, but I don't know how to put it on together. But I feel like you figured it out. Where do you get your fashion sense from? Who influenced you to not only dress but get into the fashion world?
I think a lot of fashion has to do with confidence. I think the different price points will is long story short, my mom, I thought about this the other day. I was looking at old photos because we came to the country poor and we were living in the hood. When my mom would try to make the best of whatever clothes she had, kind of like, let's say there's like a class day. And I tell them, oh, there's back in the day from first grade to like fifth, there's like class photo shoots.
Yep.
And my mom would find a tie or a collar shirt, slick my hair back. But the teacher would put me in the front because I was the best dressed. And meanwhile, these other kids are dressed in pajamas and fucking, their parents don't care, right? But my mom, I believe, intentionally or unintentionally wanted to insert that you look good and you have confidence. And she was trying her best not to make me look poor. And I think when I got more money in high school, I tried to wear more designer stuff, but I still reverted back to the t-shirt and jeans and all the vintage stuff because I think I just grew up with that and I make it look valuable and make it look dope. It's just now the world caught up and be like, yo, we gotta go thrifting and vintage.
Right.
But when you're broke, you're just doing that out of like necessity, right?
Yeah.
Favors is not there for you to flip clothes. It's there for people who need clothes to wear.
Right. Back in the day, I remember it was like frowned upon for you to say you're shopping at a thrift store.
I was very not trying to wear hand-me-downs. I was like embarrassed that I only had 3 outfits. But now I don't care. I'll wear like the same shit over and over.
Yeah.
Like I think I was wearing like some thrifted clothes and some RISD kids came up to me, oh man, that drip is fire. And I was like, oh shit. The Gen Z approved my random ass thrifted clothes. That's when I was winning. I was like, like no one's ever came up to me like, oh my God, man, you're wearing this designer that looks dope. Like no one cares. It's like if you put stuff together. I've seen people with like, $2 outfits and I've seen people who wear $2,000 jeans look terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's like the only thing that I find weird is when kids wear stuff that they don't even feel comfortable wearing, but they wear it because I think a lot of the other people think it's cool.
Like
so there's no
trendy.
confidence in that, and then they don't come off as like good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like you could be wearing something good, but it doesn't look good on you.
Yeah, but you want to put it on because like you think like the world thinks you're cooler.
Yeah. Like Nike tracksuits. I've seen some people, they just don't belong in them.
Yeah, Nike tracksuits. No, like Nike tracksuits is like you're like this dude that just sells a lot of drugs. Like that's what I resonated to because I grew up around people who wore tracksuits and they did sell drugs. I was like, dude, you're like giving yourself away.
You're giving yourself away. Right.
That and like a tinted Lexus or something with a tracksuit. The cops are like, this guy definitely sells drugs.
That's hilarious. But you talked about coming to this country. So you weren't born here.
No, I was born in Laos. My dad left that country with my mom when I was 10th month old because, long story short, a lot of stuff. It's a communist country. They were coming off civil wars and there's this poverty. We lived in a village. So my dad, my mom's family was down with migrating, but my dad's family wasn't. They're older and they're like, it's too risky, blah, 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 don't do this. Because, you can't leave a country without like the rebel soldiers trying to capture you and all this. You can't leave this communist country. But if you leave and go over the border to Thailand, the U.S. government and Thailand can help you. But you have to go to, like, kind of like the movie Three Kings. They're trying to leave. But like, we can't help you leave. Like, pretty much any freaking thing. Like, the U.S. is not going to go over and take Mexicans over here. But if you can get over the border, they can help you. Kind of like that. So when I was 10 months, my dad's like, I just won't tell them. And they took me 10 months and like 9 other refugees. They paid off refugee smuggler, which knew the safe route to the safe house.
Wow.
And then canoed across. I think they found a canoe in the river that was hidden, and then they canoed across the river. And then we got to the safe house and then over the border. And
That's
then
intense.
we were living in a refugee camp for like 5 years.
And you remember some of that stuff?
I remember because there's just pictures of it. So I remember when I was like 5 or 6, so a little bit. It's then my dad, like, he's like the guy that keeps retelling me these stories. I'm like, dude, I don't. Okay, that sounds depressing as fuck. He's always like, you gotta remember where you came from and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Do you think that attributes to how hard you work though?
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day. I have like a love-hate relationship with my dad because what he did, a lot of the Laotian community think he's like, the man, the legend. Like my friends are like, yo, your dad's so cool and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of fucking pressure. Because like, he took this kid, he's 10 months. Because long story short, first of all, before we came to America, the refugee director was like, oh, there's room in Australia for refugees if you want to go there. My dad's like, no, we gotta go to this place called America. It's cool or something. I was like, dog, I fucking would have rather preferred Australia. I would have this crazy accent. I'd probably be surfing.
Not the accent.
I'd probably be like probably better off mentally, health wise.
Yeah, probably.
But they really wanted to come here, and yeah. So he didn't like tell me work hard, but he just did it out of example. So there's a little piece of me that always like, my mom doesn't care. My mom's having a great time. She's like, yeah, do whatever you want. You have this life. My dad's like, back in the day, your cousins are still blah, blah. We send money back. I was like, oh. No, I get where he's coming from, but it's a very like,
It feels
complex
like yeah.
relationship with
No, yeah, I think I can relate to that too. I think being first generation American, your parents are kind of like half in, half out. They're still reaching back out to people. They're still sending money. My mom used to send tanks to Dominican Republic with clothes.
Yeah.
Sometimes my favorite pair of shoes, they'd just be gone missing. And your cousin Ophelia has it on, and that's not her real name, but that's just an example. So I think that's just part of it, and it is a complex thing. Some people don't understand that.
My dad's like, yo, can you send your cousin some Levi's? And I'm like, don't they make that shit over there? Don't they make that shit right there? Why can't they just go to the factory and get it? Don't they make that? I was dying. I was like, why would I need to send shit that they're making?
That's hilarious.
Did you know Fear of God is made in Laos? I looked at the tag the other day. It said made in Laos. And I'm like, can I?
Like essentials?
Yeah, like if you look at Fear of God hats, it goes made in Laos, which is my country, which is like small as fuck. So I'm thinking like, do my peoples work there? Can I get this discount? Like I found that so funny, and I was like, what the?
That is funny. But so you have a brand. Well, how I discovered you was through Bad Taste. Yeah. Was Bad Taste your first like big business venture?
No, I did a brand LBCO back in 2012. I was talking about it with Drew from Bodega the other day
shout out Drew
because he remembers it, and I was like, So I had bad business partners. We had like a lot of things going on, but I had a store in my early 20s
Wow.
that was, with the bad business partners that was connected to other bad things. It got shut down. I called my mom and dad, and they were like, you could always move back home. So I lived with them for another 3-4 years. And then I worked this job as the head of shipping with Tiffany and Company. And
Tiffany and Co.
yeah, so their headquarters in Cumberland.
Really?
It's hidden. It's in the woods.
Wow.
It's they make all the jewelry there.
Mm.
It's all Mexicans and Asian people,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
You mean they don't have black jobs?
Yeah, there's all minorities. There's some Africans in there. Yeah, it's like, those are the hard working people.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, I want to say that, so people think that Mexicans or Africans and Asians work these factory jobs. My theory is they hire them because jobs could be allocated in time, right? You could be like, oh, you did this, whatever. I mostly think that they hire minorities instead of other people, Caucasians, because I'm like veering off the fucking subject, but because my dad he's been in this factory job for like 30 years.
Still to this day.
Yeah, like that's why it's so tough. I gotta like fucking pay this dude one day. But if you think about it, the reason why these jobs are geared toward minorities is because a white college kid would nitpick all these the supervisor because they're trying to take the jobs. But my dad and other people like him will never say anything. They'll just take the fucking thing. So that's really the main reason to hire.
To cheap them out.
Yeah, it's because they work hard, but like you could like kind of like But if you're like this dude that's carrying everything, you're like, I don't want to hire that guy. Supervisor, I'm not hiring that guy. I got it. But this guy doesn't speak English. He'll never snitch on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked there. I got fired because somebody fucked up under my supervision, and then I collected. Because when you get fired, you can collect. When you quit, you can't collect. So I was still making like $300 living at my parents'. So I had all these clothes accumulated. I was designing stuff in my garage, and this is 2015, 16. And I remember I was telling people on Facebook, like, yo, I'm selling all my clothes and vintage stuff. And so they would come, and every week I would sell like $800 worth of shit out of my dad's garage.
Damn.
Because I would just go thrifting. I'd be like, yo. And it'd be like 11 p.m. at night. It'd be 10. I was like, what the fuck? It'd be 10 in the morning. I just tell people, you can come to my garage, but they would just come from Warwick, Boston, whatever. They would buy a whole bunch of shit.
That's fire.
And then I found out about the Providence Flea a few months later, and I would go sell the Providence Flea 2016, and I would still make like $800 to $900 a week. And then I would save like 6G. So I opened the first Bad Taste store with 6G.
Yep, in the arcade.
Yeah, it was 200
I remember that.
square foot. And like what people don't know, like entrepreneur-wise, you could kind of like. So when I went there, like, yeah, we need like $1,000 per month first, last, and security. And I'm like, yo, I'm broke. I'll give you $900. I'll give you the $900 right now, but I can't pay you the security or the last month until 3 months in. But this shit been empty for like whole months. Like, help me out. I'm a fucking Asian dude. Whatever. And then they were like, all right, yeah, just pay us the $900 3 months in, and then another $900. So I fucking went there, and I just every day I would 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m. just sell stuff. I'd post on Instagram. I'd make all these.
I remember it was a big movement.
Right before that, I had just broken up with this girl, so it was a little tough because it was just like I'm about to open this, and I just like a girl that I was dating for like 9 months just bounced, and then it made me work a little harder because that's all I had at the moment. And then I was coming with all these marketing ideas that was like working, and like for 12 to 13 months straight, I started selling everything I could find. Comic books, sports cards, vintage clothes, my own clothes, sneakers, some Supreme stuff. and I grossed like 110K in 12 months.
Wow.
And then I netted like about 40 of that,
Yeah.
40K. And that was like the start of like, I'm never working for anyone ever again.
That's
Like
amazing.
I could sell anything to anyone. You know, I was like, let me just do that.
So water to a well, like Jay-Z.
Yeah. That's, and I was just, and then I made like my own merch, like the Patagonia Providence stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
sold so much of that Patagonia tried suing me.
What?
Yeah. So there's like I made the Patagonia Providence
Yeah.
logo.
Yes. I remember that
And
design.
then I kept selling it everywhere online.
You did the Marlboro joint too.
Yeah.
Right?
The Marlboro joint. And then I sold so much online that they sent a letter to Shopify, and then Shopify sent me a letter, and then I didn't take it seriously, and then Shopify shut down my whole account, and then they sent me like a real like letter in the mail.
Like legit.
Mr. Longston, that's not my real name anyways. Fucking Mr. Longston, like full name, and I was like, what the fuck is it? And then it goes, and then the guy's name was like at Patagonia.com, so I took it serious. I was like, fuck, and then I shut that down, and I made a new version of that logo, and then they tried suing me again, so it was like the sixth time. I was like, fuck it, I'll just stop. I was like, no, but then I realized I could make my own merch based off of Providence.
Right.
So that transition to 2018, where like the PVD Fest was like really good.
Yeah.
This is kind of like some entrepreneur type thing, if anyone wants to listen. So I knew friends at Troop at that time. I knew friends at Black Sheep, and I knew the marketers at Downtown. And they were like, yo, we want you to vend here. And I was like, I have my own store. Don't really need to. But instead of just taking that store, I would be like, all right, I got this. You give it for free. I'll make sure people go there. So I hired 4 different people. I paid them $200 each. Would have a group chat. So there's one at the store, one downtown, one at Troops Corner at PV Fest, and then one at Black Sheep. And I called my screen printer. I was like, I need like 800 shirts. I'm trying to do something ridiculous, but I'll pay you after the fucking event. And he's like, all right, bro, whatever. And then, because he had some left over, he needed to print. He had blanks anyways. And I was like, it's going to work. It's going to work. So I hired 4 people. We group chat. I was like, yo, Omega team, whatever. And then we had 800 Providence-based T-shirts. And the fact that nobody in PVDS can go to every corner because it's so busy, every corner was being tracked. And I sold like fucking 8 G's worth of T-shirts that one day.
Really?
Because it was from like 12 p.m. to like 8 p.m. But it was like a sale every minute because I had 4 locations. I could have just been like, it's too busy. Let me fucking just go to this one store because I'm already having busy. But having a store, having Downtown, having Troops Block Party, and having Black Sheep's Block Party, people were just buying things at $20 a piece. And that's when I was like, oh, I can sell some more shit. Let's fucking just sell more shit.
Go crazy.
Yeah, it was just, but I learned that like 5 years prior when I had, I vended at the Laotian Temple New Year's Festival, and they put us in the corner, and it was like the worst location you could put for a vendor, and no one was coming to it. And we had a portable table. I was like, dog, no one's coming to this. The fucking party is way over there. No one's going to talk shit to us. It would just get one table and I'll just give you T-shirts. And then I told my boy, just plant that table in front of the crowd with shirts and let's see what happens. And we sold out because of that.
Wow.
You just and I think the lesson is you just got to like adapt and pivot. I don't think you should take what's given to you.
Yeah. I mean, you're proof of it. It's been working for you. Now you have Faded. I want to close out, but we cannot close this episode without talking about Faded. It's a huge event. You had Miss RI there. Shout out to Jonae Nichelle, friend of the show. You had Joe Perez there, who's one of the most badass graphic. I don't think people realize like how big of a deal he is. He's known for his work with Kanye West. And then you had Victor, aka Sound for Club Ambition, who has the biggest podcast in Rhode Island. Representing as well, and then you partnered up with Stay Silent for an official after party. So I want you to tell us what is Faded, and how many people came, because it looked like thousands of people.
Yeah, there was like around 2,000 people attending, and then there was like 100 vendors, and then we gave them like 4 bracelets, so there's like at least 2 to 2,500 people. So it's hard to explain Faded. That's what we're in right now. Because Faded, so besides all those local people that are dope, a lot of people flew in from like Japan and Canada.
Wow.
Like really, Jacob Starr has like 300K followers on YouTube. He came to do content. So a lot of people came that people locally wouldn't know, but like if you knew about vintage, a lot of like the real like the thrift lord who sells to like the Kardashian came. He sells to Travis Barker. But there's 2 parts to Faded, and I'm not sure we have time, but I'll explain. So back in after the pandemic ended, I didn't do anything in the pandemic. I just took a break because and I was just like flipping sports cards and all this other fun stuff, and I was doing Comic Cons and stuff, making extra money, and then I wanted to get back in vintage clothing because it was booming again, and I just like it. So I got in touch with my friend Ryan, and I was like, "Yo, let's just do this event in Providence," because he used to live in Boston at that time. We won't put up any money. We know all these people. Let's just charge $400, and we called like 50 vendors. They all said yes because of what we did in the past, and that's where like I guess the credibility comes in. They just like say yes. So we paid for the event. I think we only get 800 people the first event, but then my buddy went and met a rep from Whatnot. So Whatnot grew this application, the app of live stream selling during the pandemic, and they wanted to grow their vintage page. And I was like, don't talk to him. Just give me the email. I'll fucking meet him online. And I was like, I was like, they was like, how much would it? I was like, what do you guys need to come on the app? I was like, yo, and this is where like the value yourself comes in. A lot of people like low bottoms. I was like, yo, I need like $130,000 for absolute no reason. Just fucking just give it to me. I'll make it dope. And the guy was like, I don't think I could do that. I might get fired, but like we could break it down and do this. I was like, yeah, let's break it down. And then we ended up being what I wanted anyways, but just like in increments. So I won that fucking negotiation anyways. So we live stream heavy every day for the past 2 years because I managed 2 really dope live streamers led by my boy Ryan, who is my 50-50 business partner. And last year we did 2.7 million in sales on the app. Our thing was to work out we don't sell our own shit. We just bring on dope vendors,
Right.
and we charge them an hour
To get on the
fee.
platform.
So the deal is Ryan keeps everything that involves live streaming. I keep everything that involves the flat base pay, and I also keep everything event wise. So that's why we're in limbo, because now fast forward, there's 3 events under our pockets that are big, and the live streaming is about to hit 6 million in sales by the end of this year. And I asked the Whatnot to keep us on. They have to double everything, and the and the CFO is contemplating on which contract. There's like 3 versions that we sent them, and that should depict the future of Faded, and it should really, really change the landscape of vintage live streaming.
Yeah.
But I also have other plans, if like things I can't really talk about that might just change the game and stuff.
That's fire. I mean, I've been watching from afar, but now hearing the details is, it's so much deeper. What I'm hearing is that you're really a smart businessman, and just having the confidence is going back to like what you were talking about, how you dress, right? And putting stuff on. You're wearing a vintage t-shirt that just looks like a regular t-shirt, a faded t-shirt, but it's worth so much, but you're not even wearing it because of that. And I think that mentality has taken you to these spaces in which you're being able to be successful. I think it's really dope how you kind of like rigged the system to work in your favor and for a good cause, right? Because you're also putting other people on.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to go back to like what my dad taught me, it was that, right? Because he was born into poverty. He didn't have to take it. He was like, let me just fucking go balls to the wall, leave my family, go across the ocean and give this kid opportunity. And that's where I go when I do these meetings with like $1 billion. So Whatnot's like evaluation is $4 billion. They should be overtaking eBay within the next few years. Because eBay tried to do live streaming last year, it bombed, so they quit. but whatnot should be there. But when I go to these meetings, I wear what I want, I do what I want, and I just go. Like a lot of people, like, yo, would you have a gift? I was like, no, I would like fucking $500,000. If you could find a way to make it work, I'm down with it. I think the other day someone called and wanted to offer to buy Faded, and they gave us a number that some people would take. It was 6 figures, and I was like, no, I need fucking 7. So that's what I mean when I say there's some more things that I can't really say that will change everything. But they right from the beginning, like Whatnot wanted to see what vintage would do, and they gave like contracts to like a lot of people. I just finessed it where like I'm playing the long game. A lot of people saw money and like, let's take it, let's do it. I'm like, nah, dude. My business partner is really good because he's like just down for whatever I say. I'm like, dude, let's not take this money right away. Let's go invest in it, make the most craziest live stream. So we're like, so there's like a tier 1 of every category. There's sports cards, Pokemon cards, sneakers, fashion, and we're like the number 1 vintage on that app. So they're down to work with us, and no, we just if you had a store and you had wanted to sell $20,000 worth of stuff in 1 hour, we could do that for you because there's so much buyers on our channel.
Right. It's enough. It's guaranteed money.
Yeah. So some people who maybe have a slow month that needed to get rid of $20K for rent or whatever, they could go on our channel. eBay would take you forever because people like it whatever. But I was like, yo, here's all the buyers one day. Boom, boom, you're bidding. And then you would do it. Yeah.
That's really dope, man. It's great. I love hearing your story, and I'm sure you're full of more stories. So when you become a millionaire, come back on this podcast and tell us about the story. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by it.
That's why like this podcast is an interesting time because that contract was sent out Thursday. I won't hear back until like next week, but that would change like everything I'm moving forward. So if it does, I'm down to fucking,
I love that.
I'll treat you this the most ridiculous dinner.
Yeah.
We'll go to the most like crazy.
I'm down for what. One thing about me is I'm a cheap date. A steak will do just fine.
What's the best steak? Is Fogo de Chao the best?
Nah. Right now, for me, I would say.
You ever been to Mills Tavern?
Mills, where is that?
It's on South Main Street. It's like the bougiest restaurant.
South Main. No, I haven't been there, but I've been to 10 Prime. Their steak is pretty good. Longhorn. That's the cheap route.
No,
they do have good
the
steak.
Mills Tavern. I think I went there's like a month or 2 ago.
That's the one by Harry's, right?
It was like
Exo Bar.
like $50 for a steak.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's the average price for a good steak. It's about 50, 60. But you got that, so I'm waiting.
I'm trying to. I remember Whatnot took us to dinner in Atlanta for a vintage event, and all these dudes were just getting burgers and stuff, and it was like this bougie ass restaurant, and I saw like a $200 like seafood platter. I was like, dog, I'm fucking taking this. I was like, dog, you paying for it?
You looked at the price first, then
it's not my money. People are like very like cautious. I'm like, dog, it's corporate money. Who cares?
Right.
I'm like, and it tasted terrible, but I just wanted to fucking. I just wanted to eat it because it's expensive.
I love that. I love how you just take risks and go with the flow. Is dope, and we're seeing it, right? And I love that you brought it here too and kept it right here in Rhode Island. And it's basically, to me, what I think about when I think about Faded is in like an outdoor plaza, right? Where people could, because I also saw set designs as well.
The reason why I wanted to do an improv, because people like, go to Boston, whatever. I think Providence has so many good festivals, from Day Trail to the Pride Festival, PVD Fest, but there was never really one strictly for the stylish people of Prov.
Yeah.
Like people dress up and go to parties, but if like people dress up to go to fashion and shop, and you saw it, there's a bunch of pictures and videos where we're like, yo, they came at their best. I wanted that for the city, so I want to keep it in the city. Oh, and we have a small market coming up, November 30th at FET. Is a Faded holiday Black Friday market.
Ooh.
So we're gonna have we're taking all over FET, all the rooms. So it's a good like 70 vendors. So you'll see
smaller, packed.
Yeah, you'll see a smaller version of Faded.
Yeah.
But you'll see like Y2K and I think a lot of people don't want to shop at the malls no more. So
No, mall's whack.
yeah, they're gonna come to shop small. But if I have like 70 vendors, it's all the same place. So that's
dope.
the next move for just for fun.
Yeah, so where can the people follow you? How can they find out more information about Faded and follow your journey?
My IG is just my name at Longston. So Instagram at Longston, and then it's at Faded Show on Instagram, and that should keep you update on everything Faded with the live streaming and the events. And then my own page is just me eating.
Right, that's what I'm seeing. You
Yeah.
eating and really cool pictures of you with some dope t-shirts that I've never seen anywhere else.
Yeah, that's hopefully this people get inspired and do their own thing. Like I have a buddy just hit me up the other day. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna start doing vintage because of you and stuff." Oh, that's cool. Whatever you need.
I love that.
And then there's a kid that opened a store because he liked what Bad Taste did, and he's like in his 20s living his best life now.
Nice.
So it's cool. I'm glad everyone's inspired
Yeah,
because I was inspired by people too.
that's dope. Well, thank you for coming today. Thank you for joining me. Please come back.
Yeah, that was quick, right?
When you have,
that was a quick hour.
It always feels quick. It always feels like that.
That was good.
No, it was great. You were great. You don't feel like it was a good. You don't
No,
feel
it was
like,
good, but I
okay,
didn't know if you needed more. I don't know if you needed
No,
more.
I could talk for hours, but unfortunately, we do have a guest coming on.
No,
next,
do your
so,
thing. I
yeah.
appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
I enjoyed it. It's cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, and then you can catch me on 101.1 FM WBRU 360 every Tuesday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. If you're not from Providence, you can download the WBRU 360 app to tune in to my radio show with DJ Franchise and all the DJs 24/7 hip hop and R&B. And this podcast ain't for everybody, but hopefully it's for you. And if it is, follow us on Spark Up Pod, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you find podcasts, you can find us. Follow Longston and all the dope things that he's doing, the vintage t-shirts that he has. And
I just want to say I appreciate
you gotta have
doing-
money to come out there too. Let's just put that out there because it's
the
not for the
faded?
brokies.
Well, no, like there's some vendors that have like, the bins and small. So we try to make it like the good stuff, but also if you don't want to buy like, I think one guy, thrift floor, he bought like a wrap tee, like an Easy E 1 of 1, and it was like $5,000. Yeah, he probably was gonna sell for like 10,000.
Sheesh.
But yeah, like no, like the Black Friday market should be very
November 30th, right?
yeah, be fun. It'll be a little bit of like high end stuff, but also a lot of like accessible,
Okay.
cheaper stuff too.
Yeah, I'm gonna come down. That's an early enough notice for me
Yeah,
to
and
clear my
I
schedule.
want to say I appreciate you doing stuff as well. You've been doing some really good media for Proud.
Oh,
so.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back. And so like, share, comment, subscribe. Spark Up Podcast, episode 176 with Longston. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Word.